5 years after a traffic stop in Baytown, Texas ended with a man pinned to the ground, former officer Teddy Sims is finally forced to answer for what happened. The man he arrested, Kendrick Crawford, had no warrants, a valid license, and even consented to the searches. Yet Crawford was accused of assaulting a public servant, a charge that was never indicted. Now, during a civil deposition, Sims is under oath with nowhere to hide. And the biggest problem? His own paperwork contains a claim about why he restrained Crawford, a claim that he's about to contradict himself.
Good morning. We are now on the record. Today's date is July 30, 2024, and the time is approximately 10:34 a.m. Central Time. This is the deposition of Teddy Sims taken in the matter of Crawford versus Sims et al., filed in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Texas, Houston Division. Would all counsel please identify themselves for the record and state who they represent, starting with the noticing attorney?
My name is Yue Lewis, and I represent Kendrick Crawford.
My name is Norman Giles. I represent defendant Teddy Sims. And
my name is Adarsh Adamanani, and I also represent defendant Teddy Sims.
Okay, would the notary please swear in the witness?
Yes, Mr. Sims, would you please raise your right hand, state and spell your name for us?
Yes, ma'am. Teddy, Teddy. Last name is Sims, Sims.
And sir, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
May I lower your hand?
All right.
Thank you. The witness is sworn. Counsel, you may now begin.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Sims, I think we established the other day when we were together that you're no longer an officer and you're okay with me not referring to you as Officer Sims, rather Mr. Sims, correct?
Correct.
You've had your deposition taken before, correct?
Correct.
You do understand that your testimony here is made under oath, is subject to the penalty of federal perjury charges. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Is your full name Teddy Sims?
Yes, my middle name's Forrest. So I do.
How do you spell Forrest?
Forrest.
Okay. How old are you, Mr. Sims?
30.
Have you worked for another agency besides Baytown?
Polk County Sheriff's Office.
How long were you at Polk County?
Approximately 3.5 years, somewhere like that. Somewhere in that area.
And did you work there as an officer?
I worked there as a patrol deputy.
Why'd you leave there?
Don't answer the question.
Why did you leave there?
Don't answer the question.
Oh, it must be some bad reason. Did you watch any other videos related to this incident besides your own?
No.
Now, there was a criminal proceeding here related to this case. You were indicted for felony aggravated assault charges. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you were set for trial in that case, correct?
Correct.
And you did not prepare for that trial by watching the videos at all?
We really didn't get that far. I mean, it was disposed before we made it.
Wait. Dan, you can talk about what you looked at.
Mr. Giles, hold on a second. You may not coach him. If he understands, I'm sure you told him in advance what is required of him. You may not stop him in the middle of a question and coach him on how to answer this question.
I can certainly tell him he does not have to divulge any communications he had with his lawyer, and that's what I'm going to talk about.
Okay, all right, that's fine. You can remind him now, and then we know that it's not going to be an issue going forward. Mr. Sims, you understand that you don't have to.
You let me finish what I'm going to tell him.
Well, no, that's it. We're not going to. No, that's it. That's it. You're not going to coach any further.
No, quit talking.
You're not going to coach him any further. You're not going to coach him any further. If you didn't tell him what you need to tell him in advance of this deposition, it's too late now. I respect the fact that you need to tell him and remind him at this point not to share what he told his attorney in the criminal case. And I think he's heard you, and that's fine. But anything more than that, no.
Okay. You're not required to tell her anything that you said to your lawyer, anything your lawyer said to you. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Back back to where we left off, Mr. Sims, you stated that you guys did not get that far along, but there was no trial preparation that required you to watch any of the videos. Is that what you're stating? You can't look to your lawyer for answers. Just look straight to the camera, please, and stop looking at your lawyer for answers.
How you doing? Good, man. You ain't got no weapons or nothing? You want to come over and talk to me real quick? You got out kind of quick. No, man, so I was making contact because you were here for a while, and then you backed out, and went back over here. You backed in. I just make sure you're not drunk or something.
No, I'm looking for stuff in my car.
Hey, I'm going to make sure you ain't got no weapons. I pat you down real quick? All right, man. I just want to check you out, make sure everything's okay, man. I saw you back. You were about to turn down the road, and then you backed up. What's up with that? Where you trying to go, man? Sir? Where you trying to go?
Back into Houston.
Oh, okay. All right, have you been arrested before or anything?
No, sir.
Did your driver's license through Texas?
Sir.
I'm just waiting on you, man. I was waiting on this return real quick. Okay. So while I'm waiting on the return, is it cool if I make sure nothing bad in the car today?
I mean, you want to search the car, you can search it.
Okay.
They asked me, could they search my vehicle? I know I wasn't doing anything wrong, so I gave them consent to search my car.
Nothing personal. We're just out here doing our job, you know? Ain't nothing wrong with it.
When you really think about it, person with driver's license insurance, you got to think about it. That's kind of weird.
No, because honestly, I've caught people felony amounts of narcotics and guns with people with valid driver's license, valid insurance, and everything, man.
But you say what you want to say. Think about it. That's not a probable cause you search the person's car. I got insurance, everything. What's
okay, and what does that have to do with anything?
So when am I free to go?
Whenever, man.
Whenever?
Yeah. All right, would you hand your money back?
What happened?
Don't tense up, dude. Oh, freaking drop you.
What did I do? What's going on? I don't have anything. What's going on?
I'm taking the ground.
And from your understanding, Mr. Crawford, when he was arrested by you, that was for a felony charge, correct?
Section 4. Correct.
What was the charge?
Assault on public servant.
He was not indicted on that charge, was he?
I don't know. I haven't proceeded with their court records. I didn't follow up after the case after I filed the charges.
So when am I free to go?
Whenever, man.
Whenever?
Yeah.
Okay. And you told him whenever, right?
Yes.
All right, would you hand your money back?
What happened?
Don't tense.
Mr. Crawford never left, even though you told him he can leave whenever he wanted to, right? He never made any moves to leave, did he?
At this, no.
In fact, the first thing that occurred was you grabbed him, right?
Right.
You didn't tell him why, correct?
Correct.
And did you even know why?
Yes.
Why?
That Officer Surratt had either reasonable suspicion for detention or probable cause for an arrest and or search.
This answer may sound simple, but it could be one of the most important moments in the entire case. In police work, there's something known as the fellow officer rule. It can allow one officer to rely on another officer's instructions, but only when that officer actually had a legal basis for giving the order. That justification has to exist before the action happens. It can't simply be created afterward. So the real question isn't just what Sims did. It's what he was told, who told him, and exactly how that instruction was communicated. Because a clear verbal command is one thing. A simple hand gesture is something completely different. And now, listen closely to how Sims describes the instruction he actually received.
Officer Sarah never said those words to you, did he?
No, he signaled to handcuff him.
Let's take a look at that signal that you're talking about to handcuff him. Now that you were able to look at that again, what exactly was it that Sarah signaled towards you? Did you really see him put cuffs?
I literally, yes, ma'am. I seen him put his hands together as in handcuffing. That's what I saw.
In fact, show us how he put his hands together. Can you demonstrate that for us?
It was something similar to either this or like this. I don't remember the exact way, but it was something similar to, hey, it's time to be handcuffed.
Do you maintain that you were a victim of a crime by Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
What was the crime that Mr. Crawford committed against you?
As I previously stated, assault on a public servant.
Okay, and can you tell us the facts to support the assault on the public servant?
Yes, ma'am. He intentionally or knowingly dug his fingernail into my arm, which caused pain and bodily injury, namely a cut to my arm.
Do you have any scars?
No.
But you had a cut, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You went to wound care?
I know I went to a clinic. I'm not sure the name of the clinic. I know it's a clinic that we used in the past. It's by the hospital. It's all I know.
Okay. And what were you diagnosed with at that clinic?
I don't believe I was diagnosed with anything. I was just treated, examined, and released.
What type of treatment did you receive?
I don't remember the full treatment. I know they just kind of examined my arm. They examined any kind of injuries that they seen, which I don't recall. And I was sent on my way back to duty. And I believe they looked at my arm.
Which arm? Which arm was injured by Mr. Crawford?
I believe it was my left arm.
Why do you say you believe? Do you know or do you not know which arm was injured by Mr. Crawford? You only have two.
It was my left arm. Again, I said believe because it's been 5 years ago.
So it could have been your right arm is what you're trying to say here, right?
No, ma'am, it was my left arm.
Can you tell me at what point did Mr. Crawford scratch you or cut you with his fingernails on your left forearm, on the top of your forearm?
When we were towards the end of the struggle, I believe, when we were on the ground, vehicle in question it's just doing some suspicious behavior. Just, with the closed businesses, recent burglaries that we've had on that stretch of road, we just needed to see we needed to investigate and make sure, one, he's okay, and two, that there's no crime. I knew there was one male.
What else did you know about his description besides male?
Male, appeared to wear a white T-shirt, African American.
And so what was the reason that you have, according to your training and your experience, the authority and the right to freaking drop somebody who you're simply detaining for the reasons you don't know at all in order to search them?
Objection 4.
Right. Use of force continuum. If they go to resisting or they go to running, I'm going to take them to the ground.
But he didn't run, right?
No.
He didn't resist, did he?
Yes.
How?
The whole encounter, from him pulling away, from him not giving us his hands, from him digging his nails in my arm and scratching me.
Let's be clear. I'm just talking. I don't want you to go too far into this. I'm just talking about why you're standing there, what started the use of force. I'm not talking about on the ground. So we'll get there, but for right now, so we're not all over the place. I want to know what was the basis for dropping him to the ground, according to your words. Here, what resistance was he giving to you here at this moment?
Objection 4.
I felt the resistance becoming leading up to it due to him tensing up. That is a common indicator of individuals who are about to fight or run. They'll begin to tense up their muscles, their arms, and either they'll pull away or they'll swing. And I was just trying to eliminate that thought from Mr. Crawford.
Okay. So he asked not only what did he do, but he asked, what happened? What did I do? What did I do? Right?
Right.
You didn't answer any time when he asked, what happened? What did I do? What did I do? Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Let's go ahead.
What's going on?
So you asked to get a fourth time. What's going on? Correct?
Correct.
No response from you, right?
Correct.
I don't have anything. What's going on?
He asked for a fifth time. What's going on? Did you answer him?
No.
You've had consistent problems with your body camera footage capturing use of force by you. Isn't that true?
Objection 4. No.
Isn't it true that you arrested a woman by the name, I believe, of Jessica Solis?
Yes.
Isn't it true that you had an issue with your body camera footage capturing the use of force here in Mr. Crawford's case?
It fell off, yes.
That's not the first time that your body camera footage failed to record and document the use of force by you. Isn't that true?
The body cams always documented use of force. Sometimes they do fall off.
And in particular for you, right?
Section 4. Sure, it happens to every officer.
But it happens to you on more than one occasion when it comes to use of force that you're accused of using in an excess. That while you were in contact with him, he seemed nervous. It seems like to me that you left out the part that you ran him, his name, his driver's license, and his vehicle, and everything came back clear. You didn't put that in your report, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay, why not?
Really, I might have just left it out. At that point, I could have just left it out.
Because you probably would have to explain, if you put that in there, why the contact continued, right?
Right.
And why did the contact continue after he provided you his name, identified himself, and his insurance came back clear as well as his license? No warrants.
Right. Based on the behavior here is displaying, the driving behavior, the unexplained nervousness, and the possible indication he might be under the influence.
You continue the contact for those reasons.
Correct.
Okay. Now let's talk about him possibly being under the influence. You didn't ask for him to this cooperative, Mr. Crawford. You didn't ask for him to do a field sobriety test, did you?
No.
You never once stated to him that you thought he might be under the influence either, did you?
I don't remember.
So we were basically talking about why you continued the contact with him, even though his license came back clear, even though he had no warrants, even though he had his insurance, and even though he was not even on a public street. You continued the contact and to detain him, but you never inquired whether he was intoxicated, even though that was a basis here, according to you, for believing that he was suspicious. And your report here says that you asked Mr. Crawford if you could search his person and vehicle, correct?
Correct.
And he was cooperative, right?
Yes.
You stated that he could leave at any time, but you didn't put in this report that what made you make that statement to him that he could leave at any time. It was after he asked when he could leave, right?
Yes, I told him he could leave at any time, but I didn't specify the reason why he could.
Right. And you didn't even put in there, you made it seem as though in this report that you just voluntarily told him, just as a matter of routine, out of kindness and information, that you could leave at any time. But in fact, the reason why you told him that he can leave at any time was because he asked, when can I leave, right?
Objection form.
Correct.
You said during the search of the vehicle, Sarah located several pills in individual bags consistent with narcotic distribution, correct?
Correct.
While searching his car, Baytown police officers say they found small bags of pills. However, he was only charged with assaulting a police officer.
You have had instances in the past where you've seen narcotics packaged in the way that you saw the pills packaged with Mr. Crawford, right?
Right.
Here in this paragraph, you stated that Officer Sarah located several pills in individual bags consistent with narcotic distribution, and you attempted to place Kedrick in hand restraints so I could further investigate the pills, correct?
Correct.
And is this true?
One moment, please. Let me look at my report to refresh my memory.
Okay, it's right here on the screen.
Okay, yes.
When exactly did you see these pills packaged by Mr. Crawford that Sarah found?
This is where the case takes a serious turn, because Sims' own report may have created a problem he can't escape. In that report, Sims says he restrained Crawford so he could investigate the pills further. But there's a major issue with that explanation. For that justification to make sense, Sims would have needed to know about the pills before putting Crawford in handcuffs. And now comes the contradiction. If the pills were only discovered after Crawford was already arrested, then the reason written in the report couldn't have been the reason for the arrest in the first place. It would mean the explanation was added afterward to justify what had already happened. That's more than a simple memory mistake. The timeline itself becomes the problem. Now watch Sims try to explain two versions of the same event.
After the arrest, after the struggle.
So when it's stated here in paragraph 2 that says that Sarah located several pills and you attempted to place him in restraints, you didn't know that he had found several pills, and you didn't know that there was a need to investigate the pills when you attempted to place Mr. Crawford in hand restraints. Isn't that true?
No, I knew there was a reason to detain Mr. Crawford because narcotics were found based on the indicator that that Sared gave me was to place him in cuffs.
But you stated in your statement, it clearly indicates that you placed him in cuffs so you could further investigate the pills. But you didn't know he had pills when you placed him in cuffs, did you?
No.
I don't want to die, man. You're choking me.
Nobody's choking you, dude.
I cannot breathe or nothing.
The longer you talk.
Now, you heard Officer Brown state that your eyes are swollen shut, correct?
Correct.
But you would still describe that as superficial because we are still on the scene, right?
Right.
What he describes is bleeding your ass off at one point and swollen shut on another point. You describe as superficial, right?
Right. But again, after everything was done, I glanced at Mr. Crawford. I seen that there were other officers there. At this point, I'm worried about establishing the scene, washing his blood off, examining my cut. So that's what I perceived on the scene, that they were superficial. And then I later learned he did sustain injuries.
Right, but you did your report after. You didn't do your report on the scene, did you?
Correct.
So you knew exactly his state when you complete your report, right?
Objection form.
Correct. And that's why I also included that he suffered fractures in this report.
Yet you reported his injuries to be minor and superficial at the same time, right?
Superficial, correct.
You didn't see anything, right? Nope. You didn't see any pills. You didn't see any drugs. You didn't see anything illegal when Sarah told you or gave you this nonverbal communication, right?
Right.
But when he gave you this nonverbal communication, although you didn't see anything, you automatically leaped to the assumption that it was narcotics, correct?
Correct. Correct.
But at that time, all you were doing was assuming. You didn't see anything. And is that correct?
Objection form.
It was correct.
And so for you, from your own personal view, you had no reason at all to detain Mr. Crawford, did you?
Objection form.
I did have a reason. Partner, old Surrett, seen something at that time that was illegal, that he believed to be illegal, and that gave me. And then he communicated to me, cuff him, and that gave me all in reason right there to detain him and further investigate.
So let's pause a second. You've had training, and according to your training, you are able to legally detain somebody because somebody else told you to, right? Another officer told you to, correct?
Yeah, as long as that officer had reasonable suspicion to detain or probable cause to effect an arrest or a search, yes.
Okay, you just said a lot right there. So you can do it with reasonable suspicion as well as probable cause, according to you, right?
As far as detaining or placing somebody in cuffs or searching, yes.
Yes to what?
To another officer telling me, as long as that officer has reasonable suspicion or probable cause, and he tells another officer, hey, detain that person or arrest that person, search that person, then yes, I can.
Okay, but we know for sure Sarah never told you any of that, to arrest that person or detain that person or anything, right?
I believe after he made the signal, he said, cuff him.
No, because you remember, well, if that's your testimony, that's your testimony under oath, subject to the penalty of perjury. My question beyond that is, you stated that you knew that he had reasonable suspicion and probable cause. Which is it?
Objection 4. At that point, I knew at the very least he had reasonable suspicion for detention, and ultimately probable cause for a search.
It's your testimony that he had reasonable suspicion, Sarah had reasonable suspicion, in which you are speculating as to whether he had reasonable suspicion or not, because you didn't communicate with him. But it's your testimony that Surratt had reasonable suspicion to search him after he had already been searched and given you consent to search the vehicle as well. Is that your testimony?
Objection 4. My testimony is, in the heat of the moment, at that time, that Officer Surratt, at the very least, had reasonable suspicion to place Mr. Crawford in detention with handcuffs and likely probable cause to search a vehicle.
Isn't it true that when you decided to put Mr. Crawford in handcuffs, you didn't tell him that he was being arrested or detained at all? Yes or no?
Using those words, no.
And you didn't give him any indication that he was being detained or arrested, correct?
No.
And at the end of the day, the person who you stopped, ultimately, Mr. Crawford, was not committing any crime, correct?
Objection 4. Initially, at the stop, before the stop, no.
And he was just a regular citizen who you encountered, who tried to be courteous and comply with what you needed, which was to search his car and to make contact with him and answer questions. He engaged and did all that for you, right?
He was courteous. He allowed me to search him initially, yes, at the very initial part of the stop. Unfortunately, through the remainder of the stop, he was not the same compliant individual.
And do you think that's because he was really a criminal committing crimes? Why did he all of a sudden become the person you're trying to paint him to be, which is a criminal, when he actually was never even committing any crimes? What would be the motivation for him to suddenly become a criminal when he knew, even though you didn't know, he knew at all times he was innocent and had not done anything wrong? What do you think would be the reason why he would flip and all of a sudden start attacking a police officer and fighting police officers when he knew at all times he had been committing no crimes, had no drugs, had no narcotics, had nothing illegal going on with him? Why do you think all of a sudden he would rise up and want to start fighting police officers?
I cannot testify as far as what I think. This is the facts. He was compliant originally. And as far as him going one way to another, that's a question for Mr. Crawford. All I can say is that point where he wanted to be handcuffed, he did not want to be handcuffed. He was resistant. He would not comply furthermore. As far as the question on what causes one to do that, it could be a number of reasons. I don't know. I'm not Mr. Crawford.
Or maybe that is because you're the one who is making up the fact that he was resisting. Maybe it's because you're the one who is making the fact that he was fighting in order to try to paint an innocent man, a law-abiding citizen, as a criminal, when in fact he's not, correct?
Objection 4.
You're the criminal. You were the criminal here, weren't you?
Objection 4. Ma'am, I would love to answer your questions, but may we please go back to the first one you asked and clarify?
No. You're the criminal here, right? You were the one who were indicted. You were the one who was indicted, and there was probable cause to find that you, in fact, violated the law, correct?
Objection 4. Ma'am, I want to answer your questions.
My question's there. You can answer it.
No, I'm not a criminal.
So your indictment by a grand jury finding there was probable cause that you assaulted Mr. Crawford to the level of a felony, that meant nothing, right?
Objection 4. No, it meant a group of individuals found probable cause and that indictment was later dismissed.
Well, it was dismissed because you entered into a plea deal and you gave up your law enforcement license that you worked very, very hard for. You had to give up your entire career for, correct?
Correct.
If you weren't a criminal, if you were not committing a crime, why didn't you just go to trial and fight it?
Objection form. Don't answer that question.
Of manner, correct?
Objection form.
The body cam has fell off in this, and it has in others, but it's not an ongoing problem. It does happen.
You said
Take away the objections and all the "I don't remember" answers, and this deposition comes down to one major contradiction in Sims' own report. Sims wrote that he restrained Kendrick Crawford so he could investigate the pills. But under oath, he admitted he didn't even know about those pills until after the struggle was already over. That changes everything. Because if the pills weren't known until afterward, then the justification written in the report couldn't have existed when Crawford was handcuffed. According to Sims' own testimony, Crawford hadn't broken any law. He had been searched, cleared, and even told he was free to leave. Then suddenly, he was restrained, based on a hand gesture Sims says gave him no verbal explanation. A grand jury later found probable cause for felony assault, and Sims ultimately took a plea deal and gave up his badge. So here's the question: if the reason in the report didn't exist when the handcuffs went on, what actually justified the force? What stood out to you most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more courtroom depositions like this one.
That